Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. This is the final game from April the 26th, and it will be the battle of two Toms. It's going to be Tommy John for the Yankees and Tom Candiotti for the Tribe. So let's look at our starting lineups and ballpark effects and all that good stuff. First of all, ballpark effects in Cleveland. Singles are 1 to 11, both lefties and righties. Home runs are 1 to 8 for lefties, 1 to 11 for righties. Tom Candiotti and Tommy John both enter the game 0-2 on the season. Yankees enter the game 12-6. Cleveland enters the game 8-11. The Yankee lineup: Henderson, Randolph, Mattingly. Oh, cool, Ben. Didn't know that. Good to know. Let's see. Let me start again. Henderson, Randolph, Mattingly, Winfield, Pasqua, Ward, Pagley, Rulo, Skinner, and Thompson for the Yankees. Bernazard, Tabler, Franco, Carter, Thornton, Snyder, Jacoby, Gallagher, and Bando for the Tribe. And Cleveland just biding their time until Brett Butler comes back in a few days. He'll be back at the beginning of May. So they're just trying to tread water, basically, between now and then. Wild pitch rating for Candiotti is a 13, balks a 4. Tommy John, wild pitch 10, balk a 0. Pitcher catcher hold, Candiotti's a +2, and Bando's a +1 for an overall +3. Tommy John's a 0, Skinner's a 0, so you get a 0. So we are just about ready to get going here. Got the game up on the computer as usual to score it and give you the statistics for each team and each player. First, we'll start with the pitcher, Tom Cotton Candiotti. And on the replay, Candiotti is 0-2 with an ERA of 7.33, 23 innings pitched, 32 hits, 11 walks, 13 strikeouts. Those are the numbers on Candiotti. Leadoff man for the Yankees, Ricky Henderson, hitting .323, a homer and 2 runs driven in. He has walked 17 times, struck out only 8, and he has 5 stolen bases so far this season. So Ricky will lead things off. Got these colored dice as close as I can get to Cleveland. The blue and the green D20s, I'm just kind of giving up on them. So it's either going to be black or white. So I decided to go with the black on this one because the Tribe does have some like navy bluish type stuff in their uniform. So we'll go with that. All right. So Henderson steps in against Candiotti, and we are underway. That's a 5-5 for Candiotti. That's a solid double for Ricky on the very first at bat of the game. Henderson cranks a double. And for Henderson, that's his 5th double of the season in 63 at bats. So Ricky automatically gets in scoring position. He will be held as a runner. Don't think he's going to try for third base. He's already in scoring position. So, why risk it is the philosophy there. And that brings up Willie Randolph, second baseman. He's hitting .324. No homers, 10 runs batted in. First havoc roll of the game, nothing happening. Here is Randolph. That's a 2-6 for Randolph, and that's trouble for Candiotti again. 1-7 is a double, 8-20 is a single. Will be a single, but they're 2 stars, so that's going to score Henderson. And right off the bat, the Yankees grab a 1-0 lead. The table setters for the Yankees coming through with consecutive hits. And it's 1-0. Randolph will have to be held. He needs a 3 to get the jump. But if he gets a jump, he'd have a huge advantage. So he needs a 3. Doesn't get it. So he will stay there. And here comes Donnie Baseball. Mattingly hitting .288, 2 homers, and 13 driven in. It's a 3-5 for Mattingly. That's a single with 1 star, so that's going to advance Randolph to third, and Candiotti's off to a rough outing. First 3 batters have reached. Still nobody out for the cleanup man, Dave Winfield. And Winfield's hitting .267, 5 homers, 16 driven in. Nothing on the havoc there. Winfield. Whoa, we got hopping dice. Let's try that again. We got a 1-9 for Winfield. That's a fly to center field, so that's one away. And Candiotti finally records an out. Tomorrow afternoon will be the next game in the Cincinnati Reds replay for History Maker Baseball as they start a 3-game series with the Montreal Expos. 2 left-handers on the mound, Tom Browning against Zane Smith. That'll be tomorrow afternoon, roughly at noon, but it could be a little bit before, it could be a little after, depending on what's going on. All right, here's Dan Pasqua. He's struggling so far and hitting 182, 2 homers, 4 driven in. Candiotti can get out of this with a double play ball. He'd really be in decent shape. 2-6. He gets a strikeout, which is not quite the double play, but it's certainly good to get the second out if you are Candiotti. And that's 2 away now for Gary Ward, left DH in a clutch situation. Ward in the clutch will gain a hit on 210, and I believe that's his only clutch against right-handers is that 210 result. So he does gain a hit on the 210 that would normally be an out since it's clutch. It's a 2-8. He just missed the 210, but he'll take the 2-8. 1-2 is a double, 3-20 is a single. That's a single 2 stars that will score Randolph and move Mattingly to third. Yankees lead it 2-0. 4th hit of the inning for the Yankees. And so Candiotti not out of the woods yet. He's going to deal with Mike Pagliarulo, third baseman. Pags hitting 246, 3 homers and 8 driven in. That's a 1 chance of a wild pitch, and that would score a run with Mattingly at third. His wild pitch rating is a 13. And he will cork the wild pitch, and that will score Mattingly. It's now 3-0 Yankees. As Candiotti's knuckleball gets away from Bando, and Ward will also take second base. So make it 3-0 Yankees on the wild pitch. And now that turns Pagliarulo into a clutch situation. And in the clutch, Pagliarulo is got 1 extra hit on a 1-6. Another 1, so another chance of another wild pitch for Candiotti, 1-13. And he corks another wild pitch. So Candiotti back-to-back wild pitches. Moves the runner to third base. And Bando looks a little befuddled. He can't seem to block anything. Here's Pagliarulo. 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. That's Bernazard, but he's a 4. So he's got to knock this down and make the play or another run's going to score. 4-19, he'll get to it. It's all about the error. And Bernazard's an E22. So on an E22, he's got to avoid 12, 18, and 17. If he can avoid 12, 18, and 17, the inning's over. And he barely does. That's a 13. So it wasn't easy, but Bernazard makes the play. And the inning's finally over. But the Yankees put up a field goal here in the first inning and take a 3-0 lead. Turn it over to Tommy John. He gets a 3-0 lead before he even takes the hill. Not bad if you can get it with a 3-0 lead. And Mr. John will set up shop here. Hello, Kevin, Ben, Tribe Fan, Ernest, Larry. Good to see all of you here on this Friday evening. Ready for the weekend. Here is Bernazard. He will lead it off. First of all, Tommy John, 0-2 with a 461 earned run average, 14 innings pitched, 15 hits, 5 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Bernazard hitting 273, 2 homers, 9 driven in. 1-2 against the lefty. It's a solid, look at that, right off the bat. Bernazard hits a home run, no doubt about it. 1-2 right there, home run, no D20 needed. It's gone. Bernazard, home run number 3 on the season. And just like that, the Tribe is on the board. Cuts the lead to 3-1 right off the bat. Tommy John trying to get loose and just gives up the home run already. Here's Pat Tabler. Tabler is hitting .405 and 84 at bats. 4 homers, 16 driven in. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Randolph. He's a 2E17. 2 and a 2. That could be trouble. I think that might get through. 2 and a 2, and it does. It's a single. But we'll check for an error on Randolph. He's an E17. He's got to avoid 6-15, 3 and 18. 6-15, 3 and 18. And he does, but it will be a base hit. He won't make an error, but he's not able to range over and get that Tabler ground ball. Yet another hit for Tabler. His average just goes up a little higher. Here's Julio Franco hitting 329. 1 homer and 10 runs driven in. Tabler will not be held at first base. 2-5 against the lefty. It's a ground ball shortstop A. That's a 6-4-3 double play, just what Tommy John ordered. So 2 quick outs kind of cuts the momentum. And here's Joe Carter. Carter is hitting only a $149 and 87 at bats. He has really struggled. 1 home run, 3 runs driven in. Has walked 5 times, struck out 21 times, and 87 at bats. 3-4, and he's going to strike out again, make it 22 times and 88 at bats. So 1 out of every 4 at bats, Joe Carter is striking out. So on a regular full season, that's about 150 to 160 strikeouts. So that's going to do it. Try to get the run on the home run from Bernazard, but that's it. As John settles down after that, 3-1 at the end of 1. That's one thing with all these games with the Indians. They can't pitch very well, but they sure can score runs. So you're going to get a lot of high-scoring games with them, most likely. All right, for the Yankees, it'll be the bottom of the order. Skinner, Tollison, and then Henderson. Joel Skinner, catcher, hitting $196. No homers, 5 driven in. 3-8, and that's a strikeout. Second strikeout for Candiotti. And Candiotti's got to take advantage of these lesser hitters in the bottom of the order and get them out and concentrate on the heavy hitters. Here's Tollison, shortstop, hitting $145, 2 homers, 7 driven in. 5-10, and that's a walk. That's not good. That's usually been the Yankee bugaboo in this part of their history. Weakness at catcher and shortstop has really hurt them in the late 80s. So Tollison's on. Let's see. He will be held. Actually, he will not be held. He does not have the asterisk there, so he can't get the lead automatically. He will not be held. So Tollison will not be held. And here is Ricky. Ricky doubled and scored his first time up. 4-11, and that's a fly ball left field X. Left fielder is Joe Carter. He's a 2. We think he can get to this. 2 and a 6. That should not be a problem. 2 and a 6 for an outfielder is an F2, so that's not a problem. But the error could be E14. He's got to avoid 3, 6, 12, 14 to 17. And a 9 is okay. So Joe Carter, it wasn't pretty, but he makes the catch. Retires Ricky, 2 down. And Candiotti has a chance to get out unscathed if he can get Willie Randolph. Randolph, an RBI single his first time up. 4-7, and that's a walk. So that's going to continue the inning. Second walk of the inning for Candiotti. And that, unfortunately, for Candiotti is going to turn it over to Mattingly. Clutch situation for Donnie Baseball. In the clutch, he is ready to gain a hit on 212 and on 310. So he's got positive on the clutch factor, as you might expect. To 4-8, and this time Candiotti's going to get him on a strikeout to end the inning. So Candiotti pitches out of the mess, keeps the score where it is. It's 3-1 Yankees. As we go to the bottom of the second, Cleveland loading their lineup with right-handed hitters, so no Mel Hall. And instead, you get Andre Thornton, who was good for a few years in Cleveland, but by 87, he was pretty much done. And he's just hanging around just to hang around. He's hitting 208, no homers and 1 run driven in, but he only hit 118 in real world. So He's almost doubled that to this point. 410. That's a catcher X. That's Skinner. Skinner's a 2E4. 2 and 11 should be okay. Check it out. 2 and an 11 for a catcher is a pop out. So at E4, he's got to avoid 16, 17, and 18. Basically, just don't get 16, 17, or 18, and you're fine. And he did. So it's going to be a foul out to Skinner, and Thornton's struggles continue. Brings up Corey Snyder. He's back in his normal right field position. Played shortstop one game not too long ago, but now he's back at his normal right field position. Hitting .259, 3 homers, 8 driven in. 2-9, and he's going to ground it to short. Tollison is there, and Tommy John trying to get that ground ball working. That's his bread and butter. 2 down for Brooke Jacoby. Jacoby hitting .408, 4 homers and 18 driven in. 5-8 is a fly to right field, and Winfield puts it away. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Tommy John. Go to the third, 3-1. Favor the Yankees. And Dave Winfield will lead it off. Flew to center his first time up. He'll be followed by Pasqua and Ward. So Winfield stepping in, looking for that knuckleball. See if he can do something with it. 3-5, and he does not do anything with it. He grounds it to Franco at short. And there's one away. So Winfield is gone. Here's Danny Pasqua, the left fielder. Struck out his first chance. 1-5. He's going to strike out again. So Candiotti seems to have settled in after that rough first inning. The Indians need him to do that, save their bullpen. They've been kind of taxed lately. Here's Gary Ward. 2-5, and that's a pop out to second. So Bernazard will field it, and it's the first 1-2-3 inning for Candiotti. He needed it. And we go to the bottom of the third, still 3-1. Favor the Yankees. And TJ back out will face Mr. Ofer, Dave Gallagher. He is 0 for 25 on the season. In real world, he hit 111 in 36 at bats, so he's only going to have 11 more at bats roughly. And that's basically when Brett Butler comes back, they'll send Gallagher out of town. But right now, they're stuck with Gallagher. 2-4, and he will line it to first base. So now he is 0 for 26. Is Mr. Gallagher. One away for the catcher, Chris Bando. Don't know if I don't think he's related to Sal Bando, but he might be. He might be like a nephew or something. I don't know. Bando hitting a .182, a homer and 5 driven in. 6'6", switch hitter batting right-handed, ground ball shortstop X. That's Tollison. He's a 3. 3 and a 15, he'll get to it. E22. We're looking at E22 for a shortstop. Oops, wrong thing here. Let me get, I had the outfield, not the infield. E22 at short. 6, 15, 17, and 18. Got to avoid those numbers. And that is a 14 rather. I said he was an E. He was an E22. 14's okay. 15, 17, and 18 are not, but that's a 14. So a tough hop, and he makes the play to throw out Bando for out number 2. So that brings up Bernazard. He led off the game with a home run. Oh, they're actually brothers. Okay, cool. 1-7 for Bernazard batting against the lefty. That's a walk. So Bernazard draws the 2-out base on balls. And he's a threat to go, so they're going to have to hold him on, and he's going to try to get the lead. Needs a 4 through 6 to get the lead, but an 11 means he's caught stealing automatically. And that's a 10, but it's a 1, so that means he might be a caught stealing anyway. His safe range is a 9. He's got to get back, so the pickoff attempt is there. 1 to 9, he gets back safely. 10 or higher, he is picked off. And he's back safely. So Bernazard will hold at first base and cannot get the lead any longer. And here is Pat Tabler. 1-4, fly to center, and that's the end of the inning. So nothing for the Tribe there. 3 innings in the books. It's Yankees 3 and Cleveland 1. The April 27th block only has 3 games, so it won't take long to get through the April 27th date. There's only 3 games to play. A lot of other teams have off because April 26th was the Sunday version, and then a lot of times on Monday, they only have a small smidgen of games being played, and that's what we've got. And then Tuesday, we're back to the full slate on 4/28. But right now, we're trying to finish up 4/26. Here's Pags. Pags grounded to second in his first opportunity, 3-11. He's going to ground it back to Candiotti, and that's an easy 1-3 putout. And for Candiotti, that is now 5 in a row retired, which doesn't sound like much, but for Candiotti and the way he struggled, that's a lot. Skinner, 1-7, struck him out. That make it 6 in a row with 3 strikeouts. So maybe it just took him an inning to get the feel of his knuckleball and get that down straight, to get the touch on it, possibly. A little cool here in April in Cleveland. Might have had something to do with it. Here's Tollison. 3-4, and that's a line out to short. Franco snags it. Another 1-2-3 inning for Candiotti and 7 in a row. Retired by the knuckleballer. We go to the bottom of the 4th, still 3-1, Yankees. So Cleveland now looking to pick up the pace with the run producing. 1's kind of low for them right now. They're used to scoring about 8 or 9 runs a game. So they are well off that pace. Here is Franco. He hit into a double play his first time up. Can't do that this time, though. 5-5, and that is going to be a line out to Pagliarulo at third base. Dot there, but of course, John's not tired this early. He's got a fatigue of 6, and we're only in the 4th, so he's good to go. Here's Joe Carter, the struggling Joe Carter, but he is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 3-4, and he's going to strike out again. The struggles continue for Joe Carter. He's touched them all, but they're only the dugout steps as he goes back after the strikeout. That's what he's touching, not touching the bases. And here's Thornton. 1-9, and he will draw a base on balls. So 2-out walk to Thornton. And that will keep Tommy John from getting a 1-2-3 inning. Thornton will not be held. And here's Corey Snyder. 1 chance of a wild pitch. Tommy John's wild pitch rating's a 10. And he will uncork the wild pitch. So wild pitch thrown by Tommy John. Is Skinner unable to handle it. And now Snyder in a clutch situation against left-handers. He has an anti-clutch at 312. It's a 1-5, and he's going to strike out to end the inning. So that's going to do it for the Tribe. At the end of 4, it's still 3-1. So now, Candiotti back out. We'll be facing the top of the order. Henderson, Randolph, and Mattingly. Needs to keep Henderson off the base paths if he knows what's good for him. As we start the top of the 5th. All right. I'm noticing I'm looking through my computer now, and I was looking at the phone. On my computer, right in this area here, it looks almost like it's too bright. Do I need to turn the light down, or is it okay? I might turn it down 1 notch. I just want to make sure it's not too bright. Could turn it down 1 notch like that. Maybe that helps a little bit better. I just don't want to have any glare if I can avoid it. All right, so we'll get back to the game. Ricky Henderson will lead things off. It's a 2-4 for Henderson. He's going to ground it to third. Nice play there by the third baseman, Jacoby. And there's one away. Bit off focus. I'm not sure how, it's supposed to be on autofocus, so I'm not sure why it would do that. But maybe I can turn on. Maybe the light has something to do with it. Maybe if I dim the light one more time, maybe that would help the focus. I don't know. It's supposed to have autofocus on it, so it's, you know, just going what it told me. When I bought it, it said it had autofocus. That's why one of the things I wanted to have. Here's Randolph, 6-9, and that's a fly to center. Hauled in by Gallagher, 2 away. Yeah, I don't know if that's the autofocus correcting every time I move my hand over here. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I don't know if there's a way to turn it off. If I should turn it off, I'm not sure. I'll have to delve into that if that's the case. Here's Mattingly, 6-4. That's a catcher X. And let's see, catcher is Bando. He's a 2. 2 and a 15 should be okay. 2 and a 15. 2 and a 15 for a catcher is a foul out, as long as there's no error. He's an E2. The only way he makes an error is 3, 17, and 18. And he does not, so he makes the play. And that's going to end the inning. 1, 2, 3 again. Candiotti is now retired 10 in a row. Yeah, that's something I've got to, you know, I'm looking through my computer right now. On my computer screen, it looks pretty decent at the moment, but of course my hand's not in the way either. So, and it looks a little bit different on my phone because it's not quite as large. The screen's not quite as large, so can't really get a feel for that either. So, Yankees come away empty in the 5th. Like I said, 10 in a row now, retired by Candiotti. He's just looking for some run support if he can get it. And it's going to be, unfortunately for him, the bottom of the order coming up. Jacoby, Gallagher, and Bando. Not exactly the elite of your lineup. But you never know. Depends on what the dice say. All right. Jacoby stepping to the plate. 4-7 against Tommy John is a single 2 stars. So how about that? A good start for Jacoby. He is not going to be held, though. He will stand pat. But poor Gallagher, Mr. Ofer. He's a B bunter. They could go ahead and bunt and try to avoid disaster. So Yankees not really expecting a bunt. So we'll go to the bunt chart. Gallagher, a B bunter. Going to try to surprise the Yankees with a drop by dropping out a bunt. Let's see who fields it. It's hit to or bunted in front of the plate, so it's up to Tollison. I'm sorry, not Tollison, Skinner to field it. So he basically needs a 9 or less to have a good bunt. That's a 10. That's a pop out. So that's not good. Pop out, but nobody gets doubled off. It's just simply a pop out. So Gallagher, who Mr. Ofer, can't even get a sacrifice bunt down. And he pops out to the catcher, Skinner. And Tribe fans are unhappy with Mr. Gallagher. John now facing Bando. Grounded to short his first time up. That's a 1-6 for Bando, and he's going to pop it up to short. So after the leadoff single, nothing has happened. Now they're down to 2 outs for Bernazard. Hello, Mr. Robert. How good to see you. Well, Gallagher won't be here around too much longer, so get your fill of him now because Brett Butler's coming back from injury very shortly. Bernazard against John. 6-11. And that's a first ballpark single or home run check we had all game. Took 5 innings to get it. Ballpark single is 1 to an 11. That's a 3. It will be a single. It's only a 1-star single, so Jacoby will stop at second base. So runners at first and second for Pat Tabler, the best hitter the Tribe has, hitting over 400. And he's usually good with men in scoring position. Let's see what he does in a clutch. According to the Strat card, though, he is not rated for clutch at all, which is a little bit surprising. It's a 1-3 for Tabler. That's another ballpark single. 1-11. It's a 4. It's another ballpark single back to back. We didn't have any for 4 innings, and now we get them back to back. But they're also 1-star singles. So now the bases are loaded for Franco. So now it's all up to Mr. Franco. And in the clutch, Julio he talked about anti-clutch. He loses a hit on 1-8, 1-9, and 1-10. He also loses a hit on 3-10. So you talk about anti-clutch, and he is anti-clutch. 4-6, and that's a 1-7 single. That's an 11, so he lines it to short, and he leaves the bases loaded. Tough break there for the Tribe. They could have used something. They could have used something right there, and he didn't get it. So at the end of 5, it is still 3-1 favor of the Yankees, as Cleveland misses an opportunity to get things done. I think it all started basically when Gallagher couldn't get the bunt down. That really cost him. So cost him a run for sure. So we go to the top of the 6th. And for the Yankees, it will be Winfield, Pasqua, and Ward. Candiotti, not quite to his fatigue inning yet. He's a 7. We're only in the 6th. And he has retired 10 in a row after a rocky start. He'll be facing Winfield. Winfield 0 for 2. 1-6 against the right-hander. He's going to draw a base on balls, and that breaks up the 10 in a row previously retired by Candiotti. So Winfield walks. He will not be held. Not going to be looking to do any kind of running. Here's Pasqua. Danny Pasqua. 6-10. That's ground ball third base X. That's Jacoby. He's a 4, though. That could be trouble. That 4 range is not good at all. 4-12, they might get lucky and get a fielder's choice out of this. 4-12. 4-12 is a G3. Actually, the runner's going to advance, assuming there's no error. He's an E25, so he's got to avoid 6, 8, 13, 15, and 17. So, yeah, 6, 8, 13, 15, and 17. And that is an 11, so that's good all day long. So Jacoby will make the play, but his only play is the first base. So Pasqua does advance Winfield on the ground out. And that'll turn it over to Gary Ward, designated hitter. That's another 1. Candiotti, another chance for a wild pitch. He's already had 2 of them. That's a 13. And that's an 18. So this time Bandit was able to block it, prevent the wild pitch. Here's Ward. 1-5, and that's a ground ball to shortstop. That's going to be a ground out there that'll hold the runner. Runner cannot go. So now there's 2 away for Pagliarulo in a clutch situation. He gains a hit on 1-6 in the clutch. Candiotti. 4-9, and that's a ground ball to second. That'll do it. Bernazard makes the play, and Candiotti has turned the whole thing around for him. He's just not getting any run support at the moment. Go to the bottom of the 6th. It's still 3-1 Yankees. That score has remained the same since the very first inning. We've had nothing but goose egg since. Now, this is Tommy John's fatigue inning, number 6, so got to keep track of that in case he runs into trouble. And he will be facing the struggling Joe Carter, Andre Thornton, and Snyder. We're only in the 6th, so no pinch hitting until next time. So if Gallagher comes up to bat this inning, he has to bat. 3-12 for Carter. He's going to ground it to Pagliarulo, and his struggles continue. Just don't know what else he can do. He is just having issues. And here's Thornton. 3-8 for Thornton. Struck him out. So Tommy John doesn't want anything against this point of weakness. He wants to have full endurance going to the 7th, so he needs to get Corey Snyder to achieve that. 2-9, and he does. Ground ball to short. So an easy 1-2-3 inning for Tommy John. We go to the 7th, still 3-1, and this will be the fatigue inning for Candiotti. But now that we're in the 7th, that means Gallagher will not bat. So if you are a fan of Dave Gallagher batting, you're going to miss out. He will be pinch hit for sure. This is Candiotti's fatigue inning, and he'll be facing Skinner, Tollison, and Henderson. 6-6 against the righty. It's a 1-10 single. That's a 15, though, so it's a line out to Franco. And there's one away. So it looked like when the game started, it was going to be like a 10-9 game, but all of a sudden, pitching has kind of helped out here. Hello, Mr. Steve. How are you doing? Steve, I'm assuming you just came in, but I was saying at the very beginning of this that tomorrow around noonish, sometime give or take, half hour either way, will be the next game in the Cincinnati Reds 1990 History Maker replay as they host the Montreal Expos. Tom Browning against Zane Smith. Noonish is what I'm going for. Might be 15 minutes before, might be 15 minutes after, but I'm going to basically try for noonish. Here's Tollison. 6-8, and that's a line out to third. So 2 line outs, one to Franco and one to Jacoby. And we've got 2 quick outs, and Candiotti has nothing against this point of weakness. Here's Henderson. He doubled and scored the first, but has gone 0 for 2 since. It's a 2-7, and he's going to get a 1-6 single. That's a 19, though, so he will line it to short. So 3 lineouts to end the inning. Nothing doing. Candiotti keeps his full endurance as we go to the 7th inning stretch. Too bad Mr. Tower is not on here verbally so we could hear him play his ukulele, because we could use that for a 7th inning stretch entertainment. Tabby continues to be downstairs, so I can't use her for entertainment, so we're just going to have to drive on. Tommy John, full endurance, going to the 7th inning. It'll be Jacoby. It will not be Gallagher. It'll be Jacoby, somebody else, and Bando. And that's somebody else. We need to figure out who that's going to be. Looks like it's going to be Carmen Castillo, which will move Carter to... They're going to do some maneuvering around the outfield, though, unless they want to use Otis Nixon in center. So I think it's going to be Carmen Castillo to pinch hit, and then Otis Nixon taking over defensively in center. So I think that's the way it's going to be played out. But Jacoby will start things off. Jacoby. "5-7, and that's a solid single to left field for Brooke Jacoby. Starts things off the right way for the Tribe. And now the pinch hitter will be announced as Mr. Gallagher will go away for another day. And Carmen Castillo will be the pinch hitter. And then Otis Nixon will take over in center field. But Castillo getting the pinch hitting call here in the bottom of the 7th. He is the tying run. All right. So let's get the numbers on Castillo for the replay. See how he's done in limited duty. He is hitting .263 and 19 at bats. Does have 2 home runs, though, and 4 runs batted in. So fairly productive. John facing Castillo. 5-10, and that is a fly ball center field X. That's Henderson. He's a 2. 2 and a 10, he will get to that. 2 and a 10, he will get to that. He's an E10 in center field. E10 in center field. He's got to avoid 16, 3, 4, 14, and 18. So 16, 3, 4, 14, and 18. And that is an 8, so he's good enough all day for that. Ricky Henderson makes the catch, and Castillo is retired. That'll bring up Chris Bando. Bando 0 for 2. They just don't have a lot on the bench right now, at least not right-handed. They got the good hitter Mel Hall, but they're trying to save him if the Yankees bring in a reliever. 6-12 against Tommy John is a fly ball right field X. That is Winfield. He's a 1, so you know he's going to get to it, but we still need to roll just in case the batter gets a chance to move to second. 1 and 13, he will not. So Winfield is an E3, and the only way he makes an error on E3 is 3, 15, and 18. And that's a leaner, but I don't think it's going to matter either way. 2 or 4, he's going to make the catch either way. So Winfield will make the play. 2 down, and flips the order over to Bernazard. He has had a good day, has Bernazard. He's 2 for 2 with a walk and a homer. So pretty good from the leadoff spot. Normally a number 2 hitter, but with Butler injured, he's at the number 1 spot. 6-7, switch hitter batting left is a ground ball second base X. Jacoby's not being held, so Randolph keeps his 2. Does not drop to a 3. 2 and a 12, he'll get to that. And the 12, see if that's a fielder's choice or not. 2 and a 12 is actually a G1, so yeah, it would be, he's going to throw to shortstop for the fielder's choice, assuming he doesn't make an error. He's an E17, so he's got to avoid 6, 15, 3, and 18. And that is a 16. Let me look at it again. E17. Nope, there's a 15 and an 18, but no 16 there. So he's going to play a bad hop and play it well. And he'll actually throw it to the shortstop, Tollison, for the fielder's choice to end the inning. Goes 4-6 if you're scoring at home. And by now, I shouldn't even have to ask anymore. Should be automatic. So we need a new center fielder, and it will be Otis Nixon coming into the game to play center field for the Tribe. It's going to leave backup catcher Rick Dempsey and Mel Hall as the only 2 bench players remaining for Cleveland. Bullpen action for Cleveland, just in case Candiotti struggles. They do have some action in their bullpen, and we'll see who they've got that's not tired. Carlton is available. They're showing Jones available. They are showing Vandenberg available. Yet and Camacho are tired, so we'll not use either one of those. In fact, Yet pitched 5 innings in the first game of the series, so he still needs to rest, obviously. But Camacho, Jones, and Carlton are all, and Vandenberg, so they got 4 guys that are available if needed. Candiotti will be facing Randolph, Mattingly, and Winfield, heart of the order here in the 8th. Of a 3-1 game, that score has stayed the same since the first inning. So Candiotti to Randolph. 6-11. That's a ground ball pitcher X. Candiotti is an E7. And as an E7, he is also a 3, I believe. Let me double check it. Yep, his range is a 3. 3 and 12, he'll get to that. E7 for a pitcher. The only way he makes an error on an E7 as a pitcher, and E7, 3, 12, and 18. He's got to avoid those numbers. And he did. So it's good play for Candiotti. Takes care of Randolph, 1 away. And that'll flip it over now to Donnie Baseball. And Mattingly, 1 for 3 in the game. 2-9, and he's 1 for 4 as he pops it up to Franco. So, boy, Candiotti really has done well for himself since that first inning. He has shown out large and in charge. In fact, as I look at the score sheet, Tom Candiotti is throwing a no-hitter since the first inning. All 4 of his hits he gave up were in the first inning. He's walked 3, but he's given up no hits since the first inning. So how about that? That's a definite turnaround. All right, here's Winfield. Of course, that's the ultimate jinx, I'm sure. 3-9. Nope, struck him out. So how about that? Candiotti still mowing him down. Yankees are hitless over the last 7 innings, but they maintain a 3-1 lead. Tommy John out, and he'll be facing Tabler, Franco, and Carter, although the bullpen for the Yankees is loosening, just in case. They have right-handed action in the bullpen. Bullpen activity for the Yankees. And let's see, anybody there showing tired? Nope, no, everybody's available. Guante, Stoddard from the right side, and then Clements, Righetti, and Shirley from the left side. So they're all available. So right-hander Cecilio Guante is loosening in the Yankee bullpen if Tommy John should get in any kind of trouble. 1-6, and that's a ground ball to short. So far, so good for Tommy John as he gets Tabler to ground to Tollison. 1 away. That'll bring up Franco. Franco is 0 for 3 on the day. 2-8, and he grounds to short. 0 for 4. So it must be it has to be something to do with the thumbnail jinx. I used him as my thumbnail, and it must have jinxed him. All right, here's Joe Carter. Of course, I'll change the thumbnail after the game's over to somebody else, but 2-9 for Carter. 1-7 is a double, but he finds an 11, so it's just a deep fly to center, and Carter's struggles continue. And that's going to do it for Tommy John. He's going to go 8 innings, and they will bring in Dave Righetti to clean it up in the 9th. So Tommy John's day is done, and he's in line to get the win. Let's get the totals on Tommy John as he gets congratulations from Lou Piniella. Says fine game pitched. Tommy John's going to go 8 innings, give up 6 hits and a run, which was earned. Walked 2, struck out 4. And now we got Pascal, Ward, and Pagliarulo. A couple lefties coming up, so that's going to be it for Candiotti. They're going to go ahead and take Candiotti out. Candiotti goes 8 innings. He gives up 4 hits, 3 runs, all those in the first inning, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. And the new pitcher will be Ed Vandenberg for the Cleveland Indians. So Vandenberg making his way in from the bullpen. And while he does that, we'll get the numbers on Vandenberg. Vandenberg enters the game 1-1 with no saves, but his ERA is 10.80. 8 innings pitched, 15 hits, 7 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 5 home runs in 8 innings of pitching. So the gopher ball has been his nemesis. But Ed Vandenberg. It is Ed Vandenberg in. He is a -4 on the hold, which helps him out. So it's a -3. Pitcher-catcher hold interface. So he'll be facing Pasqua. Pasqua is 0 for 3. The Yankees could always go to a right-hander off the bench, perhaps. Let's look at the bench for the Yankees. They might counter this with a right-handed pinch hitter. And it looks like they will. Ron Kittle is going to come on and pinch hit, and then taking over in left field will be Claudell Washington. So the counter move to the first move, we're going to have Kittle pinch hit here in the 9th. And then Claudell Washington will stay in the game to play left field. So Pasqua is done. And the Yankees will go to their bullpen. And, of course, I'm not their bullpen, their bench. The bullpen is set. They've got Righetti ready to go. And he's all they really need at this point. So Ron Kittle is set to pinch hit. Get the numbers on Kittle. Kittle on the replay hitting .366, 4 home runs, 11 batted in. That's why he's pinch hitting. 5-7, and that's a 1-15 single. That's a 9. It's a base hit for Ron Kittle. His average goes up, and Kittle's going to come out, and Claudell Washington's going to run for him. And, of course, stay in the game to play left field. So Claudell Washington will take over as the pinch runner. And Claudell does have to be held. He's got that asterisk there. However, it's a -3, but he's still got a good chance. So if he gets the lead, he can still do something with it. A 6, he gets the lead. And that's a 5. He does not get the lead. So he will hold. And Gary Ward, the designated hitter, steps to the plate for the Yankees. So apparently I got more room here than I thought I had. So we're good to go. Okay. Here's Ward against Vandenberg, 3-5, and that is a ground ball shortstop A. It'll be a 6-4-3 double play for Vandenberg. Just what the doctor ordered. First double play turn by the Tribe. Matches the one the Yankees turned in the first inning. Each team with one double play. Here's Pagliarulo. They're going to leave him in there. He's much better defensively than anybody they could bring in. So Pags will stay in the game to hit despite the lefty on lefty. 4-5, and that's a fly to left to end the inning. So Vandenberg does his job as he takes care of the Yankees in the 9th. 1 inning pitch to hit and nothing else. And now for the Yankees, it'll be Dave Righetti looking to close it out. For Cleveland, it'll be Thornton, Snyder, and Jacoby. Although they still might go to Mel Hall, even though he's left-handed. He's just such a better hitter than what they have left. So it's a possibility they could go to Mel Hall or Rick Dempsey for that matter. Although Dempsey's a terrible hitter. So it looks like they may go for Mel Hall instead of Thornton. Looks like it's going to be Mel Hall instead of Thornton. Or do they hold? Actually, they're going to hold Mel Hall to bat for Nixon. So Thornton's going to swing. They're going to hold him for Nixon. They want Hall to bat with people on base. So that's the strategy they're going to use. But the strategy the Yankees are going to use is bringing in, you know who, Mr. Righetti. Righetti, one of the league leaders in saves in the replay. So let's get the numbers on him. Let me do this backwards here. All right. Now we go to, all right, now the left fielder is Claudell Washington. Make sure he's in position on the computer, which he is. And now the bullpen, Dave Righetti. So Righetti on the replay is 1-0. Actually, he's not one of the league leaders in save. I take that back. He's 1-0 with 3 saves, ERA of 4, 9 innings pitched, 7 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. So not doing as well as I thought he did in the replay. But either way, still formidable. And here's Andre Thornton. Thornton has reached base on a walk, so he's 0 for 2. 3-6, and he's going to strike out. One away, and that brings up Corey Snyder. Mel Hall is waiting to hit for Otis Nixon if they can get it that far. But they got to have somebody on base first. Here's Snyder. 3-9 for Snyder. 1's a single. Anything else he lines to short, and that's a liner to short. 2 down. So Jacoby is your batter with Mel Hall on deck to hit for Nixon, but Jacoby's got to get on so that Mel Hall can represent the tying run. Jacoby is 2 for 3. 1-6, and it's a 1-2 triple, but that's a 15. He was a deep fly to left field. Claudel Washington puts it away, and there's your ball game. So the 3-1 score in the first inning holds up all the way around, and the Yankees defeat Cleveland by the score of 3-1. And we'll get the totals, as that was, to me, was a shocker. I was expecting this to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 9-7, and it ends up being 3-1. So for the Yankees, 3 runs on 5 hits and no errors. Cleveland, 1 run, 6 hits, and no errors. Winning pitcher Tommy John is now 1-2. Righetti gets the save, his 4th of the season. And Yankees improved to 13-6. Cleveland drops to 8-12. Candiotti, the tough luck loser, drops to 0-3 on the season. Home runs is a game. Bernazard, his 3rd for the only run for the Indians in the whole game. They let off the game with the home run, but could not score after that at all. In fact, after that home run, they were shut out on 5 hits the rest of the way. So the Yankees win it to conclude the April 26th block of games. So the Yankees are 12-6. And as I look at the standings at the end of the April 26th block, Milwaukee is now 13-3. The Yankees have closed the gap. They are now 13-6, which makes them 2 games back. 3 in the loss column, but 2 games overall. Toronto's 12-6, 2.5 back. So those are the top 3 in the East. In the West, the top 2, Oakland is 15-4. The White Sox are 10-6. And everybody else, Texas, Kansas City, are 8-9. Seattle, Minnesota, 8-11. So that's where we stand. Tigers are 7-10, which is exactly where they were in 1987. Their actual record at this point was 7-10. So they're right on, spot on where they're supposed to be. Poor Red Sox are 2-16. That's just sad. They were 8-10 in real world at this point, but they're 2-16. So on the April 27th date, we got 3 games scheduled. And speaking of Boston, they will be the first on tap. It'll be the Boston Red Sox and the Oakland A's. So talk about your counter opposites. It'll be Bob Stanley against Kurt Young. And then second game will be Detroit at Seattle. Good matchup with 2 left-handers, Frank Tanana and Mark Langston. And the final game of the block will be Milwaukee at California. Juan Nieves against Mike Witt. So those are the 3 games that will be played on the 27th. This was game number 127 that we've completed. And don't forget, tomorrow around noonish will be the Reds and the Expos on History Maker Baseball. Unfortunately for the Reds, Eric Davis is injured and out about a month, because I'm following real world transactions. If the game day checks don't do it, I'm going to follow real world transactions. So Eric Davis will be out, and they'll have to play without him for a while. But the Reds have won 6 in a row, so they're going to always be harmonious until they lose a game. So, because you don't need to even roll for that, because you're automatically going to get harmony, so full harmony. So looking forward to that for tomorrow. But this Strat-O-Matic one is now in the books. Unfortunately for the Tribe, they just couldn't pull it off. So I do appreciate all you guys spending part of your Friday evening with me. Again, tomorrow afternoon, around noonish, will be the Reds and the Expos. And what I plan to do to help me along with that project a little bit quicker is I'm going to play the first game of that. That's going to be live at around noonish. But then offline, I'm going to play the second and third game of the series while I have all the cards on the table and everything set up. And I'll record those and put them out during the week. But that way I can get 3 games done at one crack and help me get through that replay a little bit faster, because I'm playing all these strat games. I don't get a chance to get to that very often. So that's my plan for that, to try to get that done. And of course, in April, NBC Game of the Week will start in the beginning of April, and it will be on season ticket baseball, using season ticket baseball, the 1978 season. And the opening day game is going to be the Yankees in Texas. Ron Guidry will be on the mound for the Yankees in that game. That'll be the opening game on that. I believe it's April 8th, if I'm not mistaken. But that's season ticket baseball. I've got to play some practice games offline and get my up to speed on that again, to make sure that I've got the rules set down on that and so forth. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. And if I don't talk to you between now and Monday, then have a wonderful rest of your weekend. So final score again, Yankees 3, Cleveland 1. Till next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.